On Windows and Mac, it is simple. You got exe or DMG. What about Unix-like system, Linux or BSD? I will try to explain package managers in Linux and Unix-like systems, the total evolution of software distribution. I am on gopios. It is right now having 5 package managers. As I see Pacman and Flatpak along with Nix, the package manager is built into this operating system. Later on, I have added APK and APT. Let me show you all those things. First, let's check if the pacman works perfectly fine. Sudo pacman syy. If I see the pacman is working fine, sudo pacman s obs studio. What I just want to install. See, if I proceed, it will get installed. Let's Control C. Now check if the Flatpak works fine. See, all those Flatpak lists are there. Now it's time to check the Nix package manager. Nix profile, add Nix packages, Chromium. So right now I'm not having Chromium installed on my system. Let's check it by typing Chromium. See, unknown command Chromium. Now it's time to install the Chromium as the web browser. Nix profile, add Nix package, Chromium. Now it will download all those necessary packages and store over /Nix folder. Nix package manager is so good, like it can handle multiple version of the same application. Now let's type Chromium. See, this Chromium started. Let's close it. Now it's time to dig into APK and APT. Here, as you see, I'm using console. The username is same, but the system seems DEB12. But I can see the user mentioned twice. That's because within the container itself and the outside host, both are having the same username. Let's check sudo apt update, provide the password. See, the update process was successful. Let's check the APK. Sudo apk update. The update process was done. Sudo apk add htop I already have added, so it just happened instantly. Let's add btop, and btop is also installed within a second. Let's type btop, and the btop is working perfectly fine, and it can see all of my core and memory directly, but within a containerized system. If you choose Debian, if you choose Ubuntu, archlinux, Fedora, you will be stuck in a single application manager. But using gopios, it feels so easy. Like, as you see right now, it has started adding those Nix packages also. As you see, the system already has started adding those Nix packages. So I am having around 1000 pacman packages, around 350 Nix packages, and 23 Flatpak packages. All those packages within my system, and apt and apk, those are within containerized system. Let me show you the container I use, that is called boxbuddy. Even this boxbuddy application is also provided by the Gopi operating system. So setting up all those tools is so easy, and that makes the Gopi operating system nearly practically unbreakable. The Gopi OS makes the operating system in a separate containerized system so that your operating system remains intact. You don't even need to update or upgrade the operating system. Especially if you update or upgrade your operating system quite a few years, eventually all those drivers will be obsolete and you will be stuck or having a broken system. That is the reason why I like Gopi OS the most. Now let's discuss regarding the Microsoft strategy. It had a great strategy to distribute their portable application softwares, including drivers. When Microsoft introduced Service Pack since Windows 95, the distribution of software and drivers, the complexity increased multifold because there are multiple versions of the same software. Later on, Windows XP has Service Pack 2, Service Pack 3. Windows 7 had even Service Pack 6 or 7. Windows 8 and Windows 10 onwards, they flip the game. Like, they want each and every part of your operating system updated in a very fast frequency. On Linux and Unix-like system, I remember getting tarball and building the application I needed. It was fun, but for a regular use, it should not be the case. But for a regular use, it should not be the way to get an application. The fascinating evolution of package management in Linux and Unix like system from the early days of source code distribution in the 1970s and 80s. Like back then, you just get those source code and you use them directly or build them as you need. Through the revolutionary package managers of the late 90s and early 2000s to the modern solution like Flatpak and App Images. And yes, we will talk about why Snap, especially with the dash dash classic, is very dangerous and controversial. I will try to cover over 25 years of innovation in the software distribution. Initially, the source code distribution was the era. As I said, around 1960s, 70s, even early 80s. While GNU OS was being developed and the Linux, the kernel was being developed, in that time also, people used to share source code by simply archiving those codes by zip or tarball. The file extension used to be like .tar or .zz. They had some build instruction, often with a realme, often with a readme or install file. Those methods are still active in these days also. Like in this case, Windsurf, a IDE provider, they provide their application for Windows, Mac, Ubuntu, and Debian. So if you are on Linux, you will only be able to get the deb package. But if you see, you can download the source tarball over here. If I go over here, the download process has already started. If I put this download folder into my executable folder and link them within the appropriate file permission, it will just work. Let me show you. For the sake of simplicity, I will just extract this on my home folder as within app folder. Let me extract those files. It's around 10,000 files. The file is already extracted to this folder. And if you go to the binary directory, you'll have to make this as executable. As I see, it is already marked as executable binary. So it will be fine if I run within a console and see the editor is working fine. So see, it is so much fascinating. Like the 70s and 80s way of sharing executable files still works today. But there is a problem. This approach has serious issues. The topmost is dependency hell. Second is no standardization. Third, the install is not easy. The fourth, it is already compiled for the x86 platform. But what if I am having another platform? It will not work. So there is a compilation overhead plus update. The update process is non-existent. Like you will have to remove and reinstall again. By the way, I have mentioned regarding the dependency hell. It is a totally separate topic for another day. It will take like few hours to explain for me. But this issue led to various inventions like those traditional package managers, which I already showed. Back then, around 1991 or 92, the first APT on Debian version 2 point something came, and that was revolutionary. Like they used to say, that was the last version of Debian because you will get each and every update using that package manager only. But the legacy did not continue. Later on, archlinux continued that legacy. There are so much benefit. You get pre-compiled binary, dependency resolution, centralized repository, easy update and removal. All those hard work are taken care of by those package managers. The big player was APT that came around 1999, and the syntax was very simple, like apt install Firefox, apt update, apt remove, advanced package manager. Back then it had some major benefits like automatically downloading and installing dependencies, managing package repositories, handling upgrades, especially with integrity. APT quickly became the gold standard for user-friendly package manager. The .deb package format and APT's approach influenced countless other package managers. Today, it powers not just Debian but Ubuntu and hundreds of other Debian derivatives. Later on, around 2002, we got Pacman on introduction of archlinux. It was designed from the ground up to be simple, fast, and powerful. Unlike APT, which evolved from DPKG, Pacman was clean slate, designed focused on speed, efficiency, simplicity in design and usage. You may say it followed the KISS principle. By the way, I do not understand why it is KISS. I understand it as KIS. Pacman became the foundation for the Arch user repository, which is called AUR. On that AUR repository, you will get each and every application you may have heard of, one of the largest community driven software repositories, along with Nix. Because if you count those numbers, Nix has more software in terms of counting. That is the reason why gopios has included Pacman, Nix, and Flatpak. Each and everyone is having their own benefits. So it's better to have all of them in a separate way. There are others too, like in case of RPM, YUM, DNF. They came like 1997, 2003, 2015. The RPM ecosystem powers Enterprise Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Fedora, CentOS. In this matter, I want to mention about CentOS that was forcefully closed by Red Hat Enterprise. I know around 2009 there was a revolution with APK for the Alpine Linux. See, it was not only a new distribution, under the hood it changed many of the things, especially the C compiler itself. C was first developed around 1971, and further development carried all those legacy codes and baggages. By implementing a new standard C that is called muscle libc, Alpine Linux was able to shred out the maximum baggages. So it was fast, reliable, and secure. Eventually, each and every container developer like Docker, Podman, each and everyone started adopting Alpine Linux. What is Alpine Linux? In short, it was created in 2009, security-oriented lightweight distribution having APK as the package manager. It had minimal footprint, lightning fast performance, container embedded use case. Alpine's smallest size, because the system is around 5 MB. That means you have the kernel and the system is only around 5 MB. That is the reason why it becomes the first choice for Docker images. Later on, Zyper came and many other came. I don't want to mention or I don't even remember those things. All those have some limitations. The main issue is portability. You cannot use .deb file in Fedora and RPM file in Ubuntu. Plus, all of them had a common issue that is called dependency conflict. In simple terms, dependency hell. Plus, all of those packages seems very outdated. Stable distros like Ubuntu, Debian, they often ship ancient software version for reliability. Those are great for servers, but frustrating on desktop and mobile devices. Yes, you heard it right. So many mobile devices are available having the core Linux, not the Android one. Plus, the main issue I understand, all those applications distributed as .deb or RPM are system-wide installations. As a user, I want to install an application that I will use. It should not interfere with the system itself. So later on, we see there are many upgrades like Homebrew for Mac and Nix for Unix-like systems. The installation step and implementation is very simple and secure. Brew install Firefox is the easiest way to install Firefox. Homebrew brought simplicity to the Mac OS, and later on Linux variants are also available. It installs packages in user space, doesn't need root privilege or most operations, and has a massive community repository. Now let's talk about Nix, the package manager. It can handle atomic updates It is reproducible build is the most powerful tool. It can handle multiple versions. It can do rollbacks. Then what is the trade-off? It has a steeper learning curve. But in terms of gopios, it is simple. You just use the profile, you add application, you remove it. Never the system gets entangled with those applications. That's how the gopios becomes the most stable operating system. There are other package managers also, like Wingate. If I had sanitizer or soap, I would like to show you how Wingate works. I don't want to get dirty hand tonight, so let's skip Wingate for today. Now discuss the modern approach, the containerized packaging, that is Flatpak. Let me show you an example. If I go to this folder, see Google Chrome. I download this app image and I run. There is nothing complicated. You get the application, you run it. It feels like more easy than a .dmg package in macOS. You get that application, you run it. You want to delete it, you remove it. That's simple. So there are many other developments are there regarding this, but today it's very late for me. I need to go. We'll continue discuss tomorrow.